By the way, there's something else I wanted to talk to you about.
No thanks.
Yes. Yes.
Do you understand?
Yes.
Jouer? Jouer?
Yes. Yes, please, with marshmallows.
Great! See you tomorrow morning for the big shoot.
It's time to examine these cartoon characters or creatures that you don't quite understand, particularly from the main cast of an assortment of different animated shows.
They seem to have some kind of primitive language.
Today, we'll be examining the most memorable cartoon characters who get lost in translation. Or, more specifically, the characters who speak nothing but gibberish or repeat the same word over and over again as their primary language. Basically, I've searched far and wide to gather the ultimate squad of unintelligible Avengers.
Dude, if you do that again, I'm gonna punch you. I'm not kidding.
Join me as we travel beyond the limitations of Google Translate. By the end of this video, you'll have a better grasp on this specific character trope that doesn't get spoken on enough. But that's where I come in. Let's go.
I think the biggest surprises are behind me. Dude, I warned you. I said I was gonna do that if you did that again.
What are you doing here?
You are looking for a little boy.
Donnie from the Wild Thornberrys is a strange case to begin with because he's the only human on this list that fits one of the two categories I devised for this topic, which are speaking gibberish or repeating the same word over and over. I bet you know what side Donnie's on. Wow, you're not really trying to communicate anything here, are you, Donnie?
Know that annoying high-pitched babble anywhere.
He low-key just ad-libbing his every move. And we'll try to explain this. According to the show, this man is 4 years old, and I'm not buying it. If you think this guy's 4 years old, then I got some beachfront property to sell you in Nebraska. He's gotta be centuries old, what with his 1,000-mile stare that is seeing things. And that full row of adult teeth ain't helping your case out either, little bro. I mean, I'm not trying to roast you. I'm just saying what everyone else is thinking, right? He's right behind me, isn't he?
He's just standing there, menacingly.
The premise of the Wild Thornberrys is very easy to understand. Eliza can speak to animals, but what I find most interesting is her unique ability in combination with characters like Darwin and Donnie. You see, Darwin's human-like mannerisms juxtapose Donnie, who is essentially a monkey in a toddler suit, who is on Adderall and ketamine, who is definitely not an animal. Hence, Eliza can understand any sentient creature except for Donnie, because he's a freak of nature. Watching this trio interact is like watching the most diabolical game of telephone. And after observing all these characters for the whole video, I slowly started to realize that a lot of what we say to each other is lost in translation, even if we are speaking the same language. And these misunderstandings can happen for a lot of reasons amongst ourselves, but to stay on topic, most of the time when we speak with people, especially when we know them, we assume they understand exactly what we mean when we say it. But that couldn't be further from the truth.
Nigel, turn on the emergency power supply.
The what?
The manual override.
By that you mean...
Press the little blue button.
We expect that we understand each other to an unrealistic degree. As for Donnie's communication style, realistically speaking, he's misunderstood as often and for the same reasons as any other toddler. He's more rampant than he is misunderstood, in my opinion, and I do emphasize rampant. And he's also shown to speak sign language because that's what he was taught by his orangutan brethren, who he was raised by because he is from the jungle and his parents died. Okay, that took a quick and sharp, dark turn, but what I can assure you is
Everyone you love around you's dying.
okay, just kidding. But the jury is still out on his age, and I believe he's a 1,000-year-old Zen master who has come forth from the woods to inhabit the Thornberry family. And case closed. Next.
I counted 74 last time, and now there's only 73. I'm not accusing you. I'm simply asking.
Glep Glep is a main cast member on Smiling Friends, and similar to Donnie, he's got the gibberish thing down packed for sure. Glep speaks the fastest gibberish I've ever heard in my life, and I can't imagine anyone actually trying to decipher it, mostly because it makes no sense.
Pim, how did you understand any of that?
Plus, not actually knowing what he's saying adds to Glep's mystique.
Are you sure?
Yep, he's got that raw bad boy edge.
You know, I was being facetious when I said I can't imagine if anyone would try to decipher Glep's language, which is called Wingon, by the way. Because of course, some Reddit freaks constructed a phonetic table to reverse engineer the gibberish. And the latest update on the project is, okay, we have the phonology, now what about the syntax? Which proves that Reddit is the place where the most brainless ideas can exist, unironically.
Guess what? Let's speak a new language right now. You know you have like how those freaks like speak Elvish, and they also speak like Klingon.
Yeah.
Let's speak of a new language called
Wingon.
Wingon right now. Ready? You guys ready?
Yeah.
This is the original Oni Plays with Smiling Friends, where Glep's character was kind of being conceived, and as far as Wingon goes, it is clearly equal parts improvised and hilarious. And out of his very sparse and minor appearances on the show, Glep manages to charm us all with his sharp, quick-witted one-liners. However, it saddens me to inform you, in the final episode of Season 1, it is revealed that Glep can speak perfect English.
But did all of that really happen?
Yep, hell is actually real, and Christianity was right all along. Sorry.
I knew it. I knew Christianity was right. Thank you, Jesus. I meant Glep. See, this proves that he's always been extremely based and would never compromise his integrity for no one.
Alan? Glep?
They have a better 401k.
But the speaking perfect English thing happens. It seems to happen for almost all the characters I've considered for this video, which is extremely frustrating because you gotta commit to the bit. But with that being said, canonically, if these are the only words we hear Glep speak, hell is real and Christianity was right all along, sorry, is hilarious.
Yep, hell is actually real, and Christianity was right all along. Sorry.
No, don't be silly, Glep. There's no need to apologize. The way Christians are nowadays, you would think the entire Bible was written in that Wingon language.
I just want to go to heaven.
Hey!
Don't!
You take the moon and you take the sun.
You take everything that seems like fun. You stand up and then you're done.
Rada, 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 rada. But don't take my word for it. Schnitzel from Chowder has the hottest verse on the theme song, and that kind of describes his entire character in the world of Chowder. In the show, Chowder and Mung play off each other as master and apprentice.
Yeah, but he has a catchphrase.
A catchphrase?
Yeah, all the best chefs have a catchphrase.
I don't have a catchphrase.
All the best chefs have a catchphrase.
And Schnitzel is the pillar of the group, and not just by stature.
Tall, cute, rock solid.
You see, Schnitzel is the straight man of the show, not just for Endive's sake, of course. What I mean to say is, Schnitzel is mostly without delusion, unlike his bosses and the purple guy. A really non-traditional straight man at that, because he definitely accumulates more L's than basically anyone on the main cast. But Schnitzel's got something that all the most legendary characters and best chefs have. The same reason he made it to this video.
Enough with the catchphrases!
But everyone's got a catchphrase. Schnitzel?
Rather.
However, what might seem just like a cool little quirk is actually a coping mechanism, and I'll explain why. You see, Schnitzel might be a prisoner to the Rada.
Rada! Yes, Schnitzel, we all know it's hard being a rock monster too, but this episode's not about you, is it?
In other words, among his co-workers, he's treated like shit so bad that the show creator had to break the fourth wall to convince him not to quit.
Hey, Schnitzel, it's me, your creator. Listen, dude, I'm telling you.
You gotta go back to Mom's.
Basically, because of his speech issue, people can be extremely selective of when they choose to listen to Schnitzel.
Ah, customer?
Rada, rada.
What do you want?
Rada, rada, rada.
A raisin? You want a raisin? I don't have any raisins.
Rada, rada, rada.
What? What? I can't hear you.
Rada, rada.
What?
Despite the fact that they all seem to understand Schnitzel perfectly well, often regurgitating his exact lines in their own primitive dialect. This way the audience can comprehend it.
Yeah, he's here asking for a raise.
But the truth is, he can speak under low stress, being not pressured by the powers that be, which in this case is Truffles.
Say, have you guys noticed that since Truffles changed her voice, things have been real calm?
Yeah, I'm so calm. Now the audience can finally understand me. Yo, my name's Schnitzel. All right!
This moment prompts the question of why Schnitzel chooses to censor himself past the point of recognition, or rather, if it's a choice at all.
Rada!
Quit? You can't quit. Who's gonna hire a bum like you?
That is no fair. You know the answer because you make up the game. Yeah.
I think on the spectrum of characters that don't speak and expel objects from their bodies,
Gurgitated, just like Mama used to make.
I'd much rather speak on Coco than Rico. And I've balanced the two, but that's mostly because I do consider Rico as a talker. He just speaks in broken mumble English like Death Grips or Nigel.
I've invited your mother to join us for the festivities. My mother?
But also, Foster's Home is the superior show, and Coco is actually the character that inspired this video. In fact, I'll just go ahead and expose myself here. The first line I wrote for this script was, Coco is a weird schizo Pokemon, which...
Guess I'd never really thought about that before.
Alright, gonna kill myself now. Bye.
Now, I want you to understand how accurate that is. Look, she repeats her name over and over again in every context. She's a sidekick to her human owner originally, and she also lays eggs with collectible cards in them. Huh? Gotta catch them all much? Jesus Christ, I fucking hate myself. Anyway, Coco, much like when Schnitzel speaks in his show, Coco will often say her spiel kind of sandwiched in between other characters' dialogue, which gives it the proper context we need to understand it. That or other characters will repeat her words back for clarification. Or sometimes they're better off not repeating her exact words.
There's gotta be a way to get him out of that totally awesome room. Coco? Coco? I think if we did that, we'd go to jail.
I love Coco the most because she impressively never speaks a single coherent word ever. She does say cheese one time, but that was in another person's voice in Blue's Daydream, so that doesn't count. Obviously, it's refreshing that we can actually rely on one of these characters that I've went over in this video to actually commit to the bit. Yet, I can't really say I'm surprised, right? Because Coco's influence proliferates the entire show in multiple ways, and mostly in song form.
I collected all the Coco cards. I collected all the Coco cards. I collected all the Coco cards. Cards.
That's called motherfucking bars, nigga. You know nothing about that.
I'd have to say Coco is my favorite character. It's really a close race between Blue and Coco. They're both great characters, but I most likely would choose Coco because she has the edge on Blue in that despite her speech, not impediment, but limitation, she still manages to charm us all with a fraction of the amount of verbal material in any given bit. Plus, she can crap out anything from those plastic eggs of hers, so when you think about it, she's kinda OP. I'm sorry, Blue, you're just gonna have to settle for second place. I don't know if that's okay with you. And knowing you, I'm assuming you feel some type of way.
What do I have to be jealous about? A dumb, doofy-looking weirdo who can only say one stinking word? I eat cereal for breakfast and watch TV sometimes.
Yeah, right. Also, Coco has an extremely dark backstory that I won't dive too deeply into, but she's one of the only, actually, I think the only character or imaginary friend who we don't see their owner because she low-key is maybe dead. It's not confirmed. Either way, this brings us to the end of the video. Sorry to say, but I have to end it somewhere, and this is the best note. Let's end on a high note, which is Coco.
You can stop playing that song. Play something, sinister.
Honorable mention of this video goes to Noam Chomsky
I fear that is the message he is struggling to convey.
from Troll Hunters. If you have seen that show, he's definitely a great character for this, but I tried to focus more on characters that were in the main cast, and Noam Chomsky was like in that in-between. Also, Giant Realistic Flying Tiger would have made it on here if her character wasn't so on the nose. Anyway, if you've made it this far, you might as well go all the way by subscribing. It's free to you, and you can change your mind at any time. And if you haven't seen the rest of my videos, go ahead and check them out and fall into a vicious dopamine cycle, please.
I got stuck in a vicious dopamine cycle.
I got some phenomenal video ideas ready and set for upload in the near future, so don't miss out. Let's shoot for 50 likes on this video. I have a good feeling y'all will pull through. For now, this has been Adrenaline Flux, and until next time, radito.
Radito.